So we have the next panel session. It's just going to be 20 minutes. Very quick. I'm sorry, I can't see the facial expressions, but I promise you're going to enjoy it. And it's on academic excellence. So I know that's something that we definitely want to learn from. So if we have questions, please let's start sending them now. The earlier we send them, the better. So apologies again for taking our time, but I know we've all learned. So I mean, it's a good use of time. Would all agree? Um, thank you. All right. So for this next session, we're going to please be welcoming Dr. Seyi and Mrs. Debbie. Please come forward. Thank you so much. Okay, let me hold this. So we have very excellent people in our midst today. So if you have any academic question, I can assure you that you have people that are going to help you out with it today. All right. So first questions first. I would like you both to introduce yourself. Tell us what you do, and all that good stuff.
Good evening, guys. All right, my name is Sodeinde. I'm a researcher, I'm a lecturer, and I lecture media and communications in Babcock University. So that's what I do in summary.
Amazing. So, Dr. Debbie.
Okay. Good afternoon, everybody. I'm so happy to be here. Thank you all for making the time to be here. My name is Debbie. I am a lecturer in the Department of History and International Studies, Babcock University. I, okay, for all intents and purposes, I'm a researcher too. So, yes, but basically what I do is teach.
Amazing. Thank you so much. So I'd like to add, because they did not say it. They are both friends. And Dr. Shay finished as the best graduating student during her PhD, while Mrs. Debbie finished as the best graduating student for her MSc. So isn't that amazing? So very quickly, please, how did you meet? Was this planned? Did you know each other? When this happened?
Okay, how did we meet? We met in Babcock University when I returned for work. So we
Okay.
didn't meet, but we were in school around the same
Same
time. Yeah,
time.
but we didn't meet while at school. Yeah,
Okay,
that's it.
that's nice. Amazing. All right. So what I want to know next is have you always been like doing so well in school? Is it been like primary, secondary, uni, and then, or was this, yeah, what's the story? How was your previous performance like, up until now?
So to help us with that, I think I would just like to say that my primary school, I attended about 10 primary schools. Yes. My parents moving from one location to the other because of jobs. And for someone that does that, you most likely don't know. I'm not. I wasn't one of the best students because before one term is over, they already hijacking me to move to another school and like that. Secondary school, I wasn't the best either. So I was just there. But eventually, when I got to uni, and I thank God for this program and the title Awakening, there was something that changed in me. And that was when the testimony began.
Hallelujah. Praise God.
Well, for me, my education was stable. Uh, so primary school. Okay, well, people thought people attested to the fact that this girl is actually smart. So, but my problem was, you know, other distractions, and I was very energetic. So I had low attention span. So I had so much potential. But primary school for me really was easier. I was top two, top three for most of the time. Secondary school, not so much. Yes. I was, way back in the class, my first attempt, but I started moving closer. I knew that for each term, from JS1 till I finished, each term was better than the other. So by SS class, I had moved to top five. So Okay, so but then I wasn't that I went to uni not seeing myself as a first class student even. I was just like, let's just pass and go home. So
Wow. Okay, that's interesting because they both have like two different stories, kind of. Yeah. Um, so what I want to know, because one important thing that Dr. Debbie mentioned was about being easily distracted, having short attention span, and I feel like that's one of the major problems like a lot of people have with academics. And I'm sure being a lecturer, you probably seen it in class as well. You're teaching and somebody's pressing their phone and all of that. So I don't know. What would you say is a practical way to deal with that? But before you answer, I'd like to also know how long you've both been lecturing for. So, like, before you answer, just tell us how long you've been lecturing for.
We are still quite young. Well, I'm still quite young. I've been lecturing for just 4 years. That's
Wow,
yeah. So
that's not very young, but
no, okay. So for people who have short attention span, I think it's not their fault, particularly in this time and age. Your phone is there, you can afford data, so it's practically there. So what I would say is look for a way. So when I realize that my phone might start distracting me in some of the things that I do, switch it off if you have to. It's a very drastic decision, but I'm sure you heard from the previous speakers, even when they want to pray, they turn it off, they switch off their phone. Whatever is waiting for you can wait. It might be drastic, but whatever it is, another thing you can do is those you are accountable to, let them have a copy of your timetable. Those your close friends that send you memes on Instagram or on TikTok, they can, just from 2 to 4, 5 to 6, I'll be busy doing this, so that you are a bit accountable. You can at least know that you might even hold your phone, but nobody will send you something at this time. So that's just like a trick to it. Another thing, you can drop your phone in the hostel. If you can drop your phone somewhere so that you are not so distracted with it. It can easily ring. In short, the light can just come on. So of course, it is drastic to say switch off your phone, but I bet it if people who earn in millions can switch off their phones. As a student, you can switch off your phone.
thank you so much.
okay. I started my career in 2017, so I would say 5, 6 years. That's of lecturing. Well, I was just laughing as she was talking because I'm much more serious. so, I'm never going to switch off my phone. But for me, what I would say is know yourself. So I'm not bothered if you're not able to hold my attention for the length of the class. I know that I will do my work. I will do my work at my own time. So what I would say is that you should know yourself, know your weaknesses, know the things that distract you, and you have unique abilities too that can help you compensate for those things. So even though for me, even though I'm distracted, let me mention this. I have a reward system for myself because I don't like to read. I don't like to read. I just think it's just very stressful and unnecessary. So what I do is whenever I'm reading or I'm studying, what I do, I know say you should go and do it because it works for me, may not work for you, is I usually have a split screen. I usually have a movie on the side. I don't know if you should go public. I feel like I'm adulterating learning, but it works for me. So there's a reward system in my. I'm not because if you left me to ordinary book, I will sleep off. So I have a split screen. I'm doing something that I enjoy on the side, and at the same time, I'm reading, I'm studying, and it's what I've used all my life and since I've learned to use a laptop. So even with my masters, my thesis, I'm always on a split screen and it works for me. So you need to find something that works for you. You need to discover other abilities that you have that can compensate for those distractions that you do have.
Wow, amazing. Again, if we have questions, please let's send them in. I think another thing that can help, I don't know, maybe sit in front in class. Because I noticed that most times when I'm in class or when I was in school, when I was in class and I was at the back, there's no way. I'm definitely going to press my phone. But if you're in front and this lecturer is seeing you, I guess that would also help. So, okay. All right. So I'd like to also ask, from perspective of, I mean, you being lecturers or no, what would you say are the common things that make people fail in school, and what can be done to help them perform better? In other words, yeah.
So the one that comes to top of mind now is that
Thank you.
many people wait till there's an assessment. 2 days, I call them lastminute.com students. Are we here? Is there someone like that here? Lastminute.com students until the timetable for exam is out. You are not studying. And she said earlier that you should know yourself. But I think in knowing yourself, I don't think it should be last minute. So to help you excel, I would usually recommend what I call incremental learning. And what's incremental learning? Don't wait till the last minute. The moment you start the semester, the lecturer comes to class, says one, two, three. Because I will not sit down. I don't think I can read in 1 hour and grab every single thing. I cannot read 5 chapters. That's not me. She knows herself. She can sit down and read, but I cannot. So do it gradually. One week, week two, you revise, you top it up, you top it up, you top. So it's like topping up your tank. So by the time we get to the exam period or the end of the semester, you are more or less charged up. You've gotten there. So that's what I think. Because many people wait till the last minute, they then rush, cram everything. I'm not saying it doesn't work for some people, but in the long term, you are not holding up, you are not keeping enough information that you need. You are reading to pass. You are not reading to excel. And when you are excelling in the thing, even in the things of the Lord, it's not just for, oh, I want to cram and be able to recite this memory verse when we get to church the following day. It's about how much have I retained in me. So one way to excel is to read gradually, top it up, and eventually you are able to have enough information needed for you. And when you do something like that, it's not just for now. You see that even in 2, 3 semesters afterwards, somebody brings up, that there's some courses that are connected. Somebody just brings up something, and you remember, oh, I learned that in MC 212. So it resonates with you, and you can always keep that going. Another issue that I've seen is that when we read, or sometimes we don't jot. Yeah. You just think that, oh, I will know everything now. You cram it, you cram it. No. But there's a need for you to try to recall yourself. So I have a jotter, or you even have a partner that you read with, that you can bounce idea off each other. I don't know. And the partner is for when you are not in the exam hall, please. Uh-huh. So you can bounce the idea off each other. That way, or you might not even be just one partner. You might be a group of 3, 4, 5 people that you are accountable to one another. You study together. You drag yourself to success. And I think those are 2, 3 things I think could be of help.
Thank
Okay,
you.
quickly, I think students don't do well because they don't want to do well very badly. I mean, honestly, if I'm going to be honest with you, I think students don't do well because they don't want to do well badly enough. What you want badly enough, you will do all that is within reason to do. So, what do I mean? You can have a terrible lecturer. You can have a lecturer that doesn't come to class and it does not will be saying A, internet is saying B, textbook is saying C. You don't have a choice. That lecturer will still grade you. There can be 100 million reasons to fail. But if you want it badly enough, that's it. The key word is badly enough. Once you begin to want to excel badly enough, you will know that there is no lecturer terrible enough for you to fail. What for me, my motto is I will always succeed with or without you, with or in spite of you. Either because of a situation or in spite of that situation. So for me, why I'm not bothered about, honestly, I attend lectures just so that they can know I'm serious. Most of the times I'm not listening, or I listen just enough to be able to, so that if they say, what did I say last, I will also say. But I know that what I need for examination purpose is not in that lecture, because I know 100 things can be wrong with me that day. So I'm probably not listening to you. I know I'm going to go back, like you said, start reading from day one. If it took your lecturer 3, 4 months to teach you a course, who are you to think that in 2 days to the paper you will successfully internalize everything? You can't. So you need to start reading early. Do my own research. I don't I refer to my lecturer's notes to guide me, but I do my own research. I usually use online materials. I make my own notes, my own investigation. In fact, what I have at the end of the day, what the lecturer gave me in class does not even come close to what I have of my own. And again, let me say, you need to go the extent that your mates are not willing to go. You need to read what they are not reading. You need to do the overtime that they are not willing to do. So, um,
Thank you so much. So we need to put in more effort, basically, and take everything else that they have said. So we have a couple of questions, but because of our time, what I'm going to do is just direct them at one person, like so, one question per person. Sorry. Oh, okay. So do I read everything out? Okay. So the first question here is: how is payment slash salary in academia like? Would you advise coming into academia? Rate academics in Nigeria on a scale of 1 to 10.
10 being good or 10 being bad?
I would say 10 being good. I don't know, but I think 10 is being good.
Okay. How do I rate academics? I think, if you are being honest, I think it's a job that is quite heavily dependent on your passion. Yes, so you'll be paid salary, but I don't think it's a career that will turn you into Dangote or $10. Nah, it's not going to happen. Yeah, so it's not yeah. So that's the summary. If
Okay.
you are looking for, I won't mention the amounts, but it's not something that. So just begin to think. If you want to come into academics, fantastic. You can see we are young, pretty, beautiful people
Aw.
in academics, and we are yeah. So it's somewhere that you should come into. You are young. You are a young person. You have a fresh mind. Of course, you are welcome. We'll be glad to have you.
All right.
okay,
But
let
you've
me
not
just
rated it
say.
over 10. Yeah.
10/10. What do you mean?
Okay.
Okay, me, I'm not going to rate it. I'm just going to tell you that I guess the person asking this question was asking, like, on top of all the reading and everything, how much is the salary and what is the use of it? All the plenty English. How many English does our president know? So what I'm saying is, you for your desire to excel academically should not just be about the grades. That's very my I will not even encourage you to, because it's not about the grades. It's a work ethic that it builds into you, a work ethic of excellence that you will need even if you decide to be a footballer tomorrow. You will still need to do the training your mates are not willing to do. You will still need to do overtime. You will still need to commit you know to discover yourself. So it's that work ethic of excellence and track record. That's why people that say, after all, Bill Gates, he will not hire a dropout like himself. Oh. They don't hire dropouts like themselves. They hire the best of the best. And people that say, well, first class doesn't matter application. Nobody sends you home in an interview for having a first class. If there's a cutoff, we want to find out more. They want to know from this class of grade to this class of grade, then what can you now do? At least that gets you in the door. So I'm not going to lie to you, there is a prestige minor, but there is the work ethic that it builds into you. Take your grades as your job. If you cannot, properly water your grades when there is no husband, no children, nobody, I'm not sure that you can take any reasonable work ethic from there to put into something else. So as for whether or not lecturing is, that's it, we can say the same thing. We can have the same conversation for several other occupations and careers. It depends on your preference. I went into lecturing. I decided to be a lecturer from 300 level. I decided I wanted to be a professor. And part of the reasons was because of the flexibility of the hours. Well, I know that it comes in very handy for me. I cannot do corporate jobs. I need to be able to go in and go out when I need to. So I go to work. Okay, let me not say it so that they will
No,
not
it
sack
just
me.
might help
Let them
somebody
not
make a
sack me. But
decision.
that was my own motivation. Sha. I wanted, flexible hours. I didn't want to go 8 to 5. Yeah, I really can come in, come out. So long as I get my job done, I teach my classes. So that was it. That was my own motivation.
Thank you so much. All right. Amazing. So you guys are, inspired. Academia is waiting. There's a lot of opportunity there. So please. Okay. All right. So this question, I think we kind of already answered it. It says, my question is, as a student, how can you read fast and remember things you've earlier learned when there is still so many things left to cover? I think Dr. Shay kind of touched on that.
So you start early so that you don't have that so much. You don't pile it up till the end. So start early.
Yeah,
That's the answer.
so start early. Yeah. All right. So somebody says, I would like to understand why I don't meet my academic expectations after putting so much effort.
Okay. You have an
Experience. I have an experience. I had a teacher who taught me. First time she taught me. So A is 80 in my school. A starts from 80. So taught me first time I had 76. Taught me the second time I had 77 or 78. She was going to teach me 300 level. I said, no, I'm going to have an A. So what did I do? It was just that course. It was just her. I meant her as a human being. And I went all out for her. First, I befriended her. I made sure that she noticed me, she knew me, and she identified me with the top 5 percentile in her class. And two, I went for feedbacks. What did you not like in my assessment? What did you want to see? Three, I hired a coach for myself for that course only. So every Sunday, 2, 3 hours, the person would coach me specifically for that course. Four, came exam time, I went to another postgraduate student. You are not serious. So if it's not enough, keep pushing. There is something you're not doing.
I think I want us to look at it from the perspective of students who do not have lecturers that they can approach. Am I right? Yeah. No, if we are being honest, there are some lecturers that they don't seem approachable. But what comes to be now is that you do your research, conduct your research to know that lecturer. Not that I said that the person it looks as if the person is not approachable. At least the person has family members. And I don't think, except a lecturer is Nebuchadnezzar or maybe just one tough person, I don't think somebody will want you to fail. I don't think it's the desire of a lecturer to see, no, see that I said, except you are a wicked person. So you can look for a way. There would always be one student that is close to a lecturer. Think about it. So you can look for that person, be the friend of that person, and through that person, you can develop a relationship with that seemingly difficult lecturer and know what works for everybody. We are lecturers, we are friends, but I can tell you that the way we operate in our lectures, they are quite different. Some of the principles, for me, if it is a particular time, so we have a 7 a.m. class, for instance, once it is 7:05, if you're still coming in, I'm looking at you like, what's happening? If it's a visa interview, would you come this late? Yeah. But some other lecturer, somebody can still be nice, 7:30 a.m. So once you understand the two lecturers, you know that, this person A, this is what the person likes. When the person wants me to do an assignment, the person is looking out for A, B, C, and D. So you work towards that person's goal, the person's expectation, which is quite different from the way you attend to another person. So it's not there's no specific rule for all lecturers. Yes, we are talking about excellence, but you must understand every course, every lecturer, and give them what they want. That is what you also do when you get to the place of business. When you are working, you have different bosses, you know that they have two different principles, and you just look for a way so that at the end of the day, you are excelling on all grounds, adopting different principles. So it's a win-win situation across board.
Yeah. All right. Okay. We've all learned something. That's amazing. Okay, so we have two more questions. So I'll just read them out together so we can take them together. So one says, I am not a night reader, but there are classes to attend during the day. How do I read at night even when it's not my nature? Meaning
Read
that
in
the
the morning.
person. So she
Yeah,
said read in the morning.
read it.
Okay. So the second question is, were you involved in any side hustle when you were in the university? So any side hustle? Did you have any business?
Yes, now. I sold everything. Any, anything possible. Earring, powder, lip gloss, sandal. Don't tell them. I so practically, you should even the. Don't let me say, it's a bad example. Things that when you need, we sold everything because one way or the other, you have to get aside money. You cannot always depend on daddy and mommy to give you money, and there are some people they don't have mommy and daddy to pay school fees. So if you are in that situation, of course you have to do something, look for a side hustle.
Well, my own side. Well, I did work study. There's work study option in my school, so I did work study is a job that you get paid for. Usually they pay at the end of the semester, but they pay you all the months. It's nothing much. So I did 8 semesters in school. So of the 8 semesters, I did work study for 7 semesters. So that was I did ranging from different jobs. I worked in the radio station one time. I was resident. I was RA, student RA, chaplain. I did different things. For the money, of course, because what I was getting from home, I couldn't even buy textbook. Amen. It's someone that has eaten that will buy textbook. So, and I needed the money. Then I didn't want to give myself too much free time. And I also enlisted in a extracurricular activity that was interesting to me. So that's that side also, yes. I'm guessing how did we manage that will work? That's why you need a timetable. You need a timetable. Honestly, the if you will go home with anything, don't let your work pile up. That's it. Don't let it pile up. From intro to chemistry, read that intro to chemistry that week. That's it. That's just it. So, if you cannot read at night and there is no time during the day, or so you need to. Well, the truth is, for people, I think it's a bit easier for people in systems that are more stable. Honestly, you can be in a system where a lecturer can just show up and call one class that is absurd, or you can just have, you know, funny people that are just funny. So you still need to find a way to work around it. Now, if when you can read is in the morning, so you need to, that means the night you would have slept very well so that you can read in the morning. If you can read only during the day, that means you may have to miss some activities to go and read. And the thing is, if you put a reward system in place for yourself, I think that also helps. So you know that after these 2 hours of doing this thing that I hate, I am going to go and have 1 hour to enjoy myself. And what helps again with reading on time is um you are not running around like a headless chicken during the exam time,
Yeah.
honestly. And it's a big flex, honestly. It's a big flex that I hope that you will. People, you will be gods unto people, honestly. Let me just tell you, because we are having paper 7 a.m. tomorrow and you are sleeping. What who does that? But they don't know that you started burning your lamp earlier.
All right. Amazing. Have we all learned something? Yeah, it's been an amazing session. So you can do side hustles while in school. I mean, if you're selling stuff, you don't necessarily it's just they just come to your and they come to buy. I don't think it's going to take much of your time if you can do that. So you can just find a way around what works. So I don't know. Do you have one-liners? Just one last word or one last sentence for everyone that I think is very important, and then we end with that.
Okay. So my one liner would be put in the effort. Study like, please, listen to me attentively because this is quite dicey. Study like you don't have God. Study like there's no helper. There's nobody that can help me. So I need to bury my head in it. I need to excel. I need to, treat it like your life depends on this. Then pray like you've not studied. Study like you don't have God and pray like you've not studied. I think that's it.
Thank you so much.
Two things. One is you need to want it badly. You need to want it badly. I told you the example I gave you. I was passing that woman's course. 77 is a nobody will send you to school and you score 77 and they will be angry. But I decided that that was beneath me. So you need to want it badly. So nobody is handing you grades. You are earning grades. You not just go to notice board. CF, bless God. You should have a type of result in mind. You should have a CGPA in mind, and that is what you're working towards. So you're strategic. You're not just showing up. Your positioning in class is strategic. Your assignment is strategic. The way you greet your lecturer to let them know you can forget any other face, you can't forget mine. Everything is strategy. Trust me, they have very little things to do about your intelligence quotient, or you just need to be strategic and deliberate. So even the friends you're making, strategic. You are reading. I can never read. I've never done an exam where I read back to back. I will never do it in my life. I don't like reading. I have said it. I do not like it. So you are listening to that lecturer, knowing that lecturer, studying his patterns, his trends. You are also talking to people that have taught that course before. When I had a bit of reservation when she said some lecturers are not approachable, I don't believe that there is somebody that is not approachable. Every lecturer likes people that take them seriously. They like people that are like, oh my, sir, today you touched me. No, I think you know what I'm trying to say. These things are very strategic. Yeah, I'm telling you the truth, though. There's, sir, thank you so much for today's class. Those things are, it will not send you out. Is it something is wrong? I'm giving you compliments. There, there are worst 5-10% cases, but this would naturally work for most people. Now, if somebody sees that you are genuinely interested in that course, or you appear to seem to be genuinely interested in that, they will give you attention. So, as if you can, go back for feedbacks. Don't just get your script 9/15. Not too bad. What did you score? 8. I'm better than you. Thank you. So, what did you what did you want to see that you did not see? Everything is just being intentional and deliberate, really.
Yeah. All right. Thank you so much. Thank you everybody so much for coming. We're so grateful. Okay. You take it away. Thank you. Okay.
So this is my wife, everyone. Hallelujah. And she's very proud. If you go to her office, you see 4.9, as in boldly written. She's very, very proud. Praise the Lord. Please, everyone, come around. Let's just do a selfie and we share the grace. Let's do a selfie and then we share the grace. Come around. Let's do that quickly. Come around. A selfie. So tomorrow, we're having Adeyomoye. We're doing 3 hours tomorrow, 4 to 7. 4 to 7. Tomorrow, 4 to 7. Spread the news. Is that okay? Bring people. Is that alright? So bring people tomorrow. Let's do 4 to 7. Quickly, let's do it quickly. So tomorrow we have the choir. The choir has, songs for us. We have the choir. Then after them we do Adeyomoye. All right. So let's do quickly. Ayo. The grace of our Lord Jesus Christ, the love of God, and fellowship of the Spirit be and abide with us now and forevermore. Amen. 4 p.m. tomorrow, please. 4 p.m. tomorrow.